Before we start the show, I'd like to thank the sponsor for this episode, Pitbull Tactical. Pitbull Tactical is the creator of the Universal Mag Carrier. The Universal Mag Carrier fits all mags from 9mm to 45 ACP, single or double stack, with no adjustments necessary. You can mount it ambidextrous, right or left-handed, inside the waistband or outside, and there's no screws or adjustments necessary. It's ready to go out of the box. I actually have two Universal Mag Carriers myself, and I've got to say, they're pretty awesome. They're super comfortable, and they fit my mags nice and snug. The Universal Mag Carrier is made right here in the USA and has an overall buyer rating of 4.5 stars with over 1,400 reviews. With Pitbull Tactical's 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can return your Universal Mag Carrier with no questions asked for a full refund if you're not completely happy with it. For the next 2 weeks, Pitbull Tactical is offering a giveaway just for listeners of this show. So if you head over to psi.chat/giveaway, you can sign up for your chance to win one of 5 Universal Mag Carriers that Pitbull Tactical is going to be giving away over the next couple of weeks. Now, don't fret if you don't win. If you listen all the way through the end of episode 7 of the Public Safety Innovators podcast, where I interviewed Jeff Brodsky from Pitbull Tactical, he's going to give listeners of this show a special 15% off coupon code that you can use. A big thank you to Pitbull Tactical for being the show's first sponsor. If you're interested in sponsoring the show and getting your name in front of our rapidly growing audience, please head over to psi.chat/sponsor. We'd love to consider having you sponsor a show.
Welcome to the Public Safety Innovators Podcast. Connecting you with experts and trendsetters who are leading innovation in law enforcement, private security, and personal protection. And now, your host, Adam Wills.
Hey everybody, this is episode 7 of the Public Safety Innovators podcast. Thanks for tuning in today. Today we have kind of a lighthearted episode, a little bit shorter than normal as well. We are not going to be talking about any real in-depth concepts here today. What I want to talk about is really just a awesome, cool, innovative product. Something that really just kind of got me excited and interested when I came across it and thought that I would share it with the rest of you because, hey, fun new gear is always awesome. So today we're going to talk to Jeff Brodsky of Pitbull Tactical. And Jeff has come up with a really neat universal mag carrier that you can jam just about any pistol mag into that you want to. And so he's going to share some ideas with us on what he has coming up in the future as well. And more specifically, talk about his universal mag carrier and what makes it awesome. We're also going to, because this is a more lighthearted show, like I said, we're going to do something a little bit different in this show than what we've done in any of the shows to this date. And Jeff is going to share with us his craziest recurring dream. Now, I didn't come up with that question on my own. I bought a set of podcast interview decks just for fun, and we flipped through that, and we pulled a couple random cards out and asked him a couple random questions and had kind of a fun conversation to go along with it. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive in, and you can check out this interview with Jeff Brodsky of Pitbull Tactical. Hey, Jeff, welcome to the Public Safety Innovators podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me here, man. Super exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I think this is going to be a really unique episode because it's always fun to talk about really cool equipment. That's what we're going to talk about today, right? Some really cool equipment?
Definitely.
So you have a company called Pitbull Tactical, and you guys are working on creating concealed carry equipment. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, our focus is plain clothes, concealed carry, everyday carry type stuff.
So what is your flagship product?
So right now, our main product and pretty much our only product at the moment is our universal mag carrier. It's a mag carrier that allows you to carry anything from a single stack 9mm pistol mag to a double stack 45 pistol mag, and that includes 10mm as well. And there's no screws or anything to mess around with. You just take it out of the box, pop it onto your belt, and it works. It dynamically adjusts to any size mag you throw into it. You can also wear it inside the waistband for concealment as well as outside the waistband. It also conceals well outside the waistband. Just some people prefer that deeper concealment inside.
Now, I saw your universal mag carrier. I think it was on a like a Facebook ad or something like that. I don't really remember how I came across it, but
Sure.
as soon as I saw it, I thought, man, this is the coolest thing ever. Why didn't I know about this? Or why didn't this exist back when I was in law enforcement full time? Because I could see so many different applications for it. It really solves a problem that we have, especially in law enforcement and private security, or you're just a patriot that likes to carry concealed and be prepared for whatever comes at you. It solves a unique problem. What would you say that problem is that it solves?
So the main thing is typically you buy a mag carrier and you're just stuck. Like, I have to carry this one gun, or I have to carry this mag because that's all I have a mag carrier for. So we wanted to create something that allows the user to carry whatever they want, so that your gear doesn't dictate what you carry. So maybe depending on your situation for the day, you might dress a certain way, or it might be cold out, or you want to carry a bigger gun, or whatever your mission dictates. You should be able to make that decision, not have your gear make that decision for you.
And you can save a little bit of drawer space too. I've got a drawer. I've got a drawer in my bedroom that's just full of different holsters and magazine carriers. And like you said, it just depends upon the day and what I'm doing when I go out and about. Is it just church today, or am I going into a situation somewhere where I have a bit more of a concern for my safety? Depending upon what that situation is, you grab a different tool, right? And
Exactly.
eventually you end up with so many of those things. It I don't know, it drives me nuts. I can't stand having all these carriers around in my drawer. And I just love this idea of being able to use a single carrier for whatever the situation dictates.
Yeah, a lot of our customers are like plainclothes law enforcement. We sell a lot to the FBI. We actually just got a big order for the Secret Service. We love working with those guys. And we actually, one of our followers on Instagram found Fox News had an image of some FBI agents out front of the White House, like just having like a little discussion. And if you look, you see our mag carrier on his belt, and we're just like blown away. It's super cool to see that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now it's universal, but obviously there's a couple limitations to it as far as different types of mags, right? You couldn't stuff an AR mag in one of these, could you?
Definitely not. No, we get that question a lot too. Yeah, it's just pistol caliber right now. You could, like a 33 round Glock mag will fit in there, though, it's not really meant for that. It's meant for your concealed carry type, regular, Glock 19, Glock 17, Glock 21, all that stuff. That'll all fit in there great. Again, you could throw like a monster vector mag in there, but it's just going to stick out quite a bit.
Sure. So do you guys have plans for additional variations of this product, like for a rifle mag or something similar to that?
Yeah, we definitely do right now. We're working on fleshing out like our concealed EDC line. So we're focusing on products in that space first, because that's kind of who we are. Like, I don't have a military or law enforcement background. That's just the angle we're coming at it from, even though a lot of our customers are in law enforcement and serving the military. But so we're going to focus on that first, but we are going to branch out into rifle gear and things like that, because it does carry over for sure. That's just where we're at the moment.
Awesome. So now, is your mag carrier, is it MOLLE compatible as well? Like, could I put it on an external carrier, or is it just something to clip on my belt?
You could definitely put it, it clips over one loop of MOLLE. Our belt clip is for like a 1.5 inch belt, and the teeth on it are pretty aggressive. So actually you can clip it over one loop of MOLLE. There's like maybe, a 1/4 inch of like sliding up and down movement if you do that. But the teeth are so aggressive that it's very difficult to take it back out of the MOLLE. So it's like if you put it like on like a plate carrier, let's say, it'll pop on there. but you might have to like take the plate out of the plate carrier and like kind of curve the fabric a little bit to produce some slack in that one loop of moly just to get it back out. It definitely was built to be worn on the belt and concealed, but we have a lot of users who do wear it on their plate carriers or on their go bags, or there's a lot of belts out there now that have moly looping around them. So, people wear them on those as well. Actually, I don't know if you saw on our website, but Dave Benton, or DB, he was one of the heroes from the Benghazi incident back in 2012. And he's,
I did see that.
Yeah, he teaches a lot of like law enforcement classes and things like that. He uses these in his classes all the time. And that's one of the things he just puts it, he puts them on his plate carrier, he puts them on his belt. He just loves the versatility of them.
Awesome. So how did you come up with this idea, Jeff?
Sure. I think it was born out of frustration. Like I mentioned before, I'm just like a regular guy who's into concealed carry for myself. And our company was building Kydex holsters at the time. So, we were tossing our ideas around for different types of mag carriers, but we didn't want to just make something that was just, another Kydex mag carrier, because there's billions of those out there. And I was looking for something a little bit more versatile, even just for myself. And so at the time I had bought, I think it was like Larry Vickers, or Vickers Tactical, has like an elastic mag carrier, where it's just like elastic material, basically an elastic pouch that you could jam mags into. And I love the fact that you could put like a 1911 mag into there, or switch to like a double stack mag and stick it in there. But, it's kind of limited in the sense that, the elastic starts to fray and fall apart over time. And getting mags into there was a bit of a process. And I was just thinking, like, there's got to be a better way. Like, a magazine is just a simple block. It's like a simple piece of geometry that, why isn't there something better out there?
Yeah, sure.
So that's kind of what kicked this whole thing off. And at the time we had, we were making our holsters with Kydex, and then we kind of dipped our feet into injection molding with making some clips and mounting gear for our Kydex holsters. So we had a little bit of experience of how injection molding works, and just the scalability aspect of, once you start making something with, that process, like you could crank out tens of thousands of them, whereas Kydex holsters, you have people making them by hand and you're very limited. So we were like, all right, we need to design this mag carrier. And my background is in 3D animation, actually. So I have some experience, maybe not directly related to this type of thing, but like modeling in 3D and building things of that nature. So we made our first prototype. We started working with an engineer to help us like have that. The way I think when it comes to this stuff is pure visual, but having somebody who like understands tolerances and different manufacturing processes is super important to have. So started working with an engineer, and then we finally got our first iteration of the mag carrier off the ground. That was back in 2018. And then at that point, we're just like, hey, this is the direction we want to move in. We want to move away from this kind of handmade Kydex stuff and get into this stuff, which is like really solves a problem for the end user. And it's just not rehashing something that's already out there. So that's the direction we wanted to go in. And this is our first product into that direction.
So you actually used your background in 3D animation to design this?
For sure. I think, I don't want to be too critical, but what I've seen, and you probably see it too in the firearms industry, is just like this stuff has been around for so long that people just kind of fall into a groove of like the same, I don't know if it's a mindset or just like thought process of what it is that products have to function in a certain way, or they have to look a certain way. But I think, having like a fresh set of eyes on this stuff, and my background in 3D animation is, just to quickly touch on that, is I build like the deformation systems for like these 3D models. It's called rigging. So it's like you put like these bone structures, and you're rigging up the face with different facial shapes and all this sort of stuff. There's a lot of problem solving involved with that. And like, that's like a huge part of my job responsibility, is just like figuring out how to make things work. So I think that transferred over to this is like, hey, we have a problem. We need to figure out a better way to make this work. And, I think Pitbull Tactical comes at this from like maybe a different angle than a lot of the other companies that are out there, kind of just building a lot of the same products.
Yeah, I think that's really what's kind of neat about your product, is that it comes with a fresh perspective and a fresh set of eyes that aren't necessarily clouded by that traditional, this is what we've been used to. And actually, interestingly enough, I find it funny that you bring that up. In a previous episode with Scott Savage from Savage Training Group, we actually talk about this idea of that's the way we've always done it mentality that unfortunately is really pervasive in the law enforcement industry. And it's not, I mean, it's negative in the sense that it stifles and limits growth, and it stifles and limits new ideas, but not negative in the sense, I mean, I don't want to be misunderstood and say, well, just because that's the way we've always done it, that it's wrong, right? I mean, there's nothing necessarily that is patently wrong just because that's the way we've always done it. However, what we see a lot of the time in law enforcement is we get stuck in that idea that, well, just because that's the way we've always done it, that's the way we're going to continue to do it. And why should I think about doing it any different way? And so I love that you guys are looking at this in a very different way.
Cool. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, there's a lot of truth to that. But at the same time, you have to innovate. I have a 1911. It's a fantastic pistol, but I also have a striker fired pistol as well. I love them both. But, if we just stuck to that old adage, we would never have these cool new pieces of gear or guns or whatever you want to call it to help make your job easier. It's essential.
Absolutely. Now, you kind of touched on it here a little bit ago when you were talking about the makeup of the universal mag carrier and the design of it, the quality of it. I'd love for you to share a little bit more about that specifically, because, I mean, this thing, I got to tell everybody that's listening to the show, because they're just listening to the show. They're not seeing this, right? This thing looks badass. I mean, it is the coolest looking mag carrier I've ever seen, man. And it looks tough too. Like, this thing looks like I could drive over it with my car and it would still be perfectly fine. So what is it made out of?
Well, it's made out of, it's like an ABS type polymer plastic. I'm not like a materials scientist, so I couldn't break it all down for you. But it's like a extremely resilient, tough, chemical proof, like extremely heat resistant. You're not going to worry about leaving it in your car, like in the Arizona desert and warping or anything. It could pretty much hold up to anything you throw at it. If people want to check it out, they could go to pitbulltactical.com. It's all pretty much on our front page there. And we have a reinforced medical grade silicone band that provides a lot of the tension on the mag carrier that allows it to expand and contract to fit different size magazines. And also on the inside, we have two stainless steel, they're almost like spring tabs that, so like, let's say if you have a 9mm mag, it's a lot, I guess, shorter than like a 45. It's just 45 is like a taller round. So there's an extra space that needs to be taken up. So we have these like lateral springs that kind of place that lateral tension on a mag inside to keep it from, bouncing around in there. Our belt clip can fit any 1.5-inch belt. So it's definitely made for more of like your plain clothes, concealed carry, EDC type setup. It's not really meant for like a duty belt, like a 2-inch, duty belt that you see a lot of people in law enforcement wearing just like every day. But yeah, I guess it's a pretty simple piece of gear. There's really not much to it other than that. It's just really there to make your life easier. A lot of other mag carriers out there require screws and tensioners, and you have to switch out from one mag carrier to a different one for double stack. This just works out of the box. It's by default, it's like as thin as a cell phone, let's say, and the opening is flared. So you go to put a double stack mag, it's going to slide in there easily and open up and adjust to fit that mag. And then when you pull that mag out of there, it collapses back down. So you don't have this big bulky piece of gear kind of sticking off your belt when you're not needing it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because as I'm looking at these images on your website, I was going to point that out, that the top of it has kind of this taper on it on the exterior. So it tapers downward. And then on the interior, you can kind of see that it's got that flare, like you said, so that your mags kind of just naturally slide in. And I think that's awesome. I mean, I'm looking at pictures here. I don't have one in my hand. if I did, OD green would be my color, Jeff. Hint, hint.
Gotcha. Gotcha, man. Noted.
No, I'm just messing with you. But I think it's really cool. I love you guys have black and dark earth tan and OD green. I mean, OD green is one of my favorite colors for just about anything and everything. So
yeah,
certainly pretty cool that you have those different options too.
Yeah, for sure. And we're working on getting some different color flex bands made up as well. So like you could trade them out or like get like a blue one, like blue on black, like that type of thing. We're working on that stuff as well.
Cool. Hey, just me here cutting in for a quick break. Have you subscribed to the podcast yet? If not, you need to. I'm going to be dropping some more episodes here over the coming weeks, and I don't want you to miss a single one. I've got some awesome guests lined up that I'm sure you're going to want to hear from. So please go to wherever it is that you prefer to listen to podcasts and subscribe to the show. Right now, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Castro, iHeartRadio, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Podchaser, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, and Amazon. Now, if there's a place that you prefer to listen to podcasts that wasn't on that list, would you please email me at adam@psi.chat and let me know what that is? I'd be happy to submit the show to that directory. All right, let's go ahead and jump back into the show. I would love to see, I mean, you mentioned a little bit there that it's not really intended or designed right now, at least for use in duty carry.
Right.
Do you guys have plans to do something like that down the road?
For sure. Yeah. I think, I might have mentioned it before. We're kind of focusing on our realm at first. And a lot of that just happens to transfer over well to law enforcement when it comes to like plain clothes type situations or, like the detectives and private security and things like that. But yeah, we work with a lot of people in law enforcement. I think one thing we want to make sure when we come out with a product is that it's unique and it's actually solving a problem that hasn't already been solved. We don't want to just make a duty carrier just to make one. We want to make sure it actually improves the lives of those that are using it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you be envisioning that as like once you work towards a duty carry type situation, like a 2-mag side-by-side type carrier?
Yeah, actually a lot of people ask us about like a double mag carrier. And because these are so slim, you can actually just put 2 on your belt and position them however you like. And it's a smaller profile than like, let's say like a more rigid double mag carrier that you see out there. So that's kind of our approach to it. Maybe when it comes to like the more of a duty setup, it might make more sense, since that setup is a bit more rigid to begin with, that platform. But we'd have to, visit that and see how it tests out and all that sort of thing.
Awesome. Well, I love the ingenuity of it. It is certainly innovative. So, I mean, fits the show really well.
Thanks,
it's a neat idea.
Yeah, one thing we want to focus on with our products too is like ease of use and simplicity. We've seen some other competitor products that look like you need a book to read through the manual to figure it out. I love simplicity. Even like back in the day when the first iPod came out, it was just like a wheel with a screen and, it was super intuitive to use. And kind of related to that, we actually just got this awesome 3D printer. It's an SLA 3D printer to test prototypes out with. And it's a super complicated machine. But the manual was like a little 2-page pamphlet and it just walks you through the process and just really well thought out. We want to take that same attribute and apply it to our product. So like if we do come out with a duty manicure, whatever it is, there shouldn't be much thought behind using it. It should just work the way you expect it to work.
Absolutely. Well, very cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Any other ideas you have?
We definitely have a lot of ideas. We don't want to throw them out. I would love to be like, our next product is going to be this.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. But, it's just a learning process. Like I said, my background's in animation, my partner's background is in athletics and sports, and we just work really well together. So it's been a huge learning curve for us. So it's even learning how to bring a product to market, how to develop it. We've learned the hard way with a lot of this stuff and made a lot of mistakes and burned a lot of money. And so I think we're a bit better positioned now that we've gotten to this point with the mag carrier to get our next products out. And we have a few in the works that they're just not fleshed out enough to say, hey, here it is. But hopefully early next year we should have some cool stuff out there.
Awesome. Well, it's been fun talking about your products and your ideas. And what do you consider your greatest achievement?
Aside from like family stuff and things like that, honestly, the mag carrier, man, not to bring it back to that, like it's been a process, and it's cool to see it come to fruition and actually see people using it. Like I said, like seeing, the FBI standing out front of the White House wearing it, like that had an impact, so, aside from having kids and all the amazing stuff that is, typically part of life, I think like for sure this is it.
Yeah, no doubt. If you had to teach a class on one thing, what would you teach?
Animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Cool.
I actually do teach that. I have over 20 years experience in that field. I've worked on feature films like that. Like that's my wheelhouse for sure. Like that's my, if there's one thing I'm expert at, that's that.
Now, you said that when you were doing 3D computer animation that you were working with Disney. Is that right? Yeah.
Disney feature animation. The last movie I worked on with them was Big Hero 6 that came out like around 2013.
Okay. I was going to ask you for some examples of some of the ones you worked on. I don't think I've never seen that movie. I'm not familiar with it.
Have you ever seen any of the Ice Age movies?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I've worked on a couple of those. And I used to work. That's when I was living in New York at the time. There was a studio out there called Blue Sky Studios. And they did all the Ice Age movies.
I think that little squirrel, the one that's always chasing after the egg. Yeah. He has got to be my absolute favorite computer animated character of all time.
Yeah, for sure. He's a lot of fun, man. I think that character alone is like what put that studio on the map and made those movies what they were.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to give you one last one here.
Yeah.
What's your recurring nightmare?
I don't even know if I've told anybody this, but I actually...
Oh, no. Secrets are coming out.
The secrets are coming out. I have this weird nightmare, man, where like I'm driving on a highway, like just like super fast, and like the road almost turns into like a roller coaster, and like you're getting ready to fly off. And like at some point in the dream, I fly off the road and wake up like that. I don't know if it's like a weird stress dream where you feel like things are getting out of control, but that's definitely a reoccurring one that I've had where, it's weird because you wake up and it sounds ridiculous, but in the dream, it feels absolutely real.
Well, I think maybe you've just channeled the cop spirit by working with your business and starting at Pitbull Tactical, because that sounds like a cop dream to me.
Really?
I've had crazy recurring dreams kind of like that where you're driving emergent somewhere and all of a sudden before you know it, like your car just goes into light speed mode and you're doing like 500 miles an hour and you fly off into some canyon or
it's exactly I don't know why. I mean, I don't go on pursuits, but
I used to have one where I would I'd be in a life-threatening situation and I would draw my handgun, and I know this is a very typical and standard dream that a lot of cops have. And you pull it out and you go to shoot, and the bullet just comes out the end of the barrel and then stops and then falls on the floor.
Oh man, that sounds horrible. Yeah, just being a father, I've had dreams like I've had to help my kid, but like you're running, but it feels like you're trying to run underwater. Like it's just whatever you're doing is ineffective. And there's like no more horrible feeling than that, when you're needed. So I can only imagine, being in law enforcement and having that subconscious like thing eating away at you like that.
Yeah. Well, awesome. That was fun. How about you send us out, Jeff? Tell us how we can find you if anybody wants to connect with you, whether that's your website, social media, email, whatever it is that you want. Tell everybody how to find you.
Yeah, for sure. Website is pitbulltactical.com, and we're going to have a 15% off discount code for your listeners. So that code is PSI15 for 15% off the Universal Mag Carriers. So if you want to check us out, pitbulltactical.com, you could grab yourself a mag carrier and save some money. We have a lifetime, warranty and guarantee. So if you buy it and you have any issues with it, we'll make sure you're taken care of. Or if you're just like, hey, this isn't for me, you can return it for a full refund. No questions asked. You can find us on Instagram. It's just Pitbull Tactical, all one word. And Facebook, Pitbull Tactical LLC. And those are pretty much the main places where you could connect with us. Feel free to shoot us an email. Our email address is on our website, and we love chatting with our customers and just hearing what's going on with you guys, and even products you'd like to see. So we're always open to that as well. And remember that discount code is PSI15.
Awesome. I really appreciate you doing that for the listeners of the show, offering that discount. That's really cool of you. And guys, I mean, the stakes are low here. I mean, you get 15% off just with PSI 15, Public Safety Innovators 15, essentially. You get 15% off. And like Jeff said, they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So, if you don't like it, you can send it back. I mean, so what's the point? Why not give it a try? It's may just be the best mag carrier you've ever purchased.
Oh, thanks, Sam. I appreciate that. Yeah, one thing we also wanted to focus on too is like pricing. Like our retail price is $24.99. So we wanted to make it so, there's a lot of mag carriers out there that are, $40-$50, and I know personally I don't like, just dropping money like that. So we wanted to make it as affordable as possible while keeping the quality high. The cool thing is these are manufactured in Post Falls, Idaho. So it's all made in America, and it's, shipped right from Post Falls. So there's, nothing weird going on there. And we just try to serve our customers as best as possible.
In my opinion, that in and of itself is reason enough to buy it.
Awesome, man.
Well, great. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate having you on the show.
Awesome, Adam. Thanks so much, man. It's been a blast.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out this episode of Public Safety Innovators Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please head over to my website at publicsafetyinnovatorspodcast.com or simply psi.chat, where you can check out episode notes and other episodes from the show. While you're there, you can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or really anywhere else that you prefer to listen to podcasts. I would greatly appreciate if you could help other people find the show by leaving a review wherever it is that you prefer to listen to the show. I'd love to hear from you if you have feedback about the show, a suggestion on a guest, or maybe you're a public safety innovator yourself and would like to be a guest on the show. Please head over to my contact page on the website and you can submit that information there, or just email me at adam@psi.chat. All right, I'll catch you on the next episode.